A seventh inning like you've never seen before and never will again. A three-run home run followed by an unforgettable bat flip by Joey Bats. Joining us now for more on the Jays, here's Drew Fairservice, co-host of the Birds All Day podcast. Nice to have you here.
My pleasure.
You were at the game.
I was at the game.
Game 5.
Game 5.
And when did you buy your tickets?
I bought my tickets Sunday morning when they were down 0-2 in the series. I bought them on the secondary market. Felt that it would be a good opportunity to either see something special or, not have any skin off of my back. So
you bought them when they're down 0-2, meaning did you really think you'd see a Game 5?
I did. I really did.
You thought they'd come back?
I thought they'd come back. I thought the matchups definitely favored the Blue Jays when they went down to Texas. So.
How important, we're going to sort of talk about the game and some of the absolutely insane moments in that game, but overarching question off the top, how important to the psyche of the capital city of Ontario was that win?
Well, you hope that it's going to get the monkey off the city's back in terms of the lack of championships or lack of anything resembling success, but there is still a long road to go. So there are still many opportunities for karmic retribution, I think. There are many opportunities for even greater heartbreak, but those moments in the seventh inning and as the celebration poured out into the streets, hopefully that's going to be able to survive, and people are going to cling to that and move on and maybe get away from some of the persecution that I think a lot of Blue Jay fans feel. I
know the Blue Jays haven't won a World Series since 1993, and I know the Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. But I hasten to add, the Argonauts were Grey Cup champions not that long ago, and they've actually won a few Grey Cups in the last 10 or 15 years. So why does everybody say this is a city of losers? And the Reds made the playoffs this year, right? Toronto FC's made the playoffs
for the first time
ever, the soccer team. So why's Toronto got this city of losers label?
Well, I think that I might represent sort of the lost generation of the CFL, frankly, where when I was younger, I got swept away into soccer, into European soccer, and just the proliferation of information and just the ability to watch any and all sports. CFL sort of on the back burner for people maybe like me and like myself.
It's not too late. Come back. The Argos are having a good year.
Football in general, I'm sort of shying away.
Okay. Let's get to that. You know what? I think it was Cathal Kelly in the Globe and Mail who pointed out the other day that in the history of Major League Baseball, they have played 3.75 million innings. And never have we seen one like the seventh the other day at the Sky Dome, which I still call it. Can we show, let's roll in number 2. Here's the craziest damn thing you're ever going to see in your life. Russell Martin behind the plate, after the pitch, throwing the ball back to the pitcher. He thinks, but it hits Shin-Soo Choo's bat. That's a live ball. It's not a dead ball. The runner scampers in from third. They have a conversation for 15 minutes. The run counted. First of all, did the ump get the call right?
He got the call wrong initially, and then after conferring and reaffirming that what the rule was, they did get the call right.
So the run should have counted.
The run should have counted. The ball was live. The Blue Jays players, if they had kept acting as though the play was live, they still wouldn't have been able to prevent Rougned Odor from scoring.
And the umpire going like this?
The umpire waved it off thinking that it was a dead ball,
so
erroneously. He was wrong, but I don't know, and that was the judgment of the umpires, that it wouldn't have mattered. But that definitely started the craziness.
Here's some of the craziness we're talking about. Sheldon, can you run roll in 4 now? Because I'm not sure I've ever seen this before at the stadium in the way that it happened the other day. Cascading beers, cans, garbage, everything flying onto the field. We saw, I guess, the pictures of a woman with her baby almost getting hit by some of the garbage flying from up top. You ever seen anything like that before?
The first year that they implemented the wild card game, there was a similar crazy incident in Atlanta where there was an umpire's call. They called the infield fly on a ball that was deep.
But that's Atlanta.
That was Atlanta, but Atlanta fans are not known for being the most engaged, the most, the most supportive. But it was a similar situation where they did throw stuff on the field. It was really unfortunate, but I don't think that tarring Blue Jays fans with, all fans are going to react in a negative way, especially there's a real lack of information inside the stadium. No one's exactly broadcasting what is it that's going on.
Did you know what was happening?
Where I was sitting, luckily, I had a monitor, so I could see them replaying, and I sort of had a feeling of what was going on, what they were debating. At the moment, I didn't know the rule. I wasn't sure, is he a batter? Is he a runner? What's the situation? And in the end, it ends up he's basically just part of the field in that situation.
Because all of the garbage, of course, was coming down from the 500 level, which is where I was sitting, and we didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And when that incident happened, and with no explanation in the stadium, of course people got upset. Can you We're going to show the bottom of the 7th in a second, but had the bottom of the 7th not happened, and had that been the winning run of this game, what do you imagine would have happened in downtown Toronto after the game was over?
I don't want to think about that. I mean, we saw some pretty ugly scenes in Vancouver a few years ago when the Canucks lost to the Bruins in the Stanley Cup final. Hopefully we wouldn't see that sort of thing replicated, but I know that me personally sitting there, it really left a sour taste in my mouth, and thank goodness Jose Bautista was around to cleanse my palate with the biggest hit in 20 years. So
I'm going to quote Mr. Kelly again from the Globe. Mr. Bautista surely saved the game. He may also have saved Toronto's entire downtown from destruction. You agree?
As much as one can to such hyperbole, but
well,
yeah.
I think he's probably right. Here we go. This is, you got it right. Ever since Joe Carter, this is the #1 home run in Blue Jay history, or certainly since then. Shall we roll this one, Sheldon? Here we go. Roll in #1. That moment was insane.
Completely
that was just insane.
It was deafening. My ears
check this
were ringing.
out. Check this out. Look at that bat flip.
That's the end of bat flips. Bat flips are now finished forever. They cannot be topped. They should not be replicated. They're over. And the conversation that surrounds them, of course, has slightly hastened that demise.
You need to explain this, because for people who don't cover baseball, and certainly when I grew up watching baseball, the idea was hit the home run, drop the bat gingerly, keep your head down, and run around the bases. What's such a big deal? Why are so many people talking about that bat flip?
There's a lot of, I think, kind of cultural differences that exist in baseball. Often you see certain kinds of players from certain parts of the world trying to police the behaviors.
Being so politically correct here.
I don't. There's a lot of policing of behaviors, and a lot of the players, the Blue Jays players, after the fact were commenting that it was like very much like a Winter League game. Winter Leagues in Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, where tensions run high, and that kind of expression is maybe more central to the game in those parts of the world, and something that's really come and spread here over the last 10 or 15 years. We remember it some ways, but there are many instances of players flipping their bats. Ricky Henderson was known as a hot dog, really slow home run trots, and lots of moments like that. There's a famous, I can't remember the year, a player in the St. Louis Cardinals, terrible hitter, hit his second ever home run in big league history in a key playoff game, and he walked all the way to first base, threw his bat up in the air. It's not quite as generationally different as we remember it. We just see it a lot more now.
But pitchers think you're showing them up when you flip the bat, right? Which is why the Rangers took such exception to this.
Absolutely. I mean, their emotions are running high. Sam Dyson, the pitcher for the Rangers, had just essentially cost his team the year after his defense let him down. So he's obviously going to be upset, obviously going to say things that maybe he doesn't quite mean. And that, of course, led to the benches clearing as he tried to make his opinions known. But there is a bit of a shift in the way that baseball polices these matters, and baseball considers these matters. But again, more and more we're seeing it in Korea. In the Korean League, it's a huge thing. Everybody does it in Korea. It's great. The highlights just never stop out of there. It's fun, and it really energizes fans, and I think it's an expression of joy and fun, and maybe not meant to be as disrespectful to the pitcher as the pitcher might interpret it.
Okay, I'm going to fill in the blanks from what you left unsaid there, because what you left unsaid was Jose Bautista is a very proud Latin ball player with an enormous chip on his shoulders for not getting perhaps the recognition or the success in the past that he feels he's entitled to, and all of that was encapsulated in that bat flip. Is that fair to say?
That's totally fair to say. I mean, Jose Bautista was a guy who played for 4 teams in 1 year before he landed with the Blue Jays. He was, he left the Dominican Republic to play at junior college, actually with Russell Martin in Florida. His path to the big leagues has been very long, and I certainly don't begrudge him or anyone who wants to celebrate. Hitting a Major League Baseball over a fence is really hard, and I think it is cause for celebration, especially when you realize the significance of the moment. And to that other point, you see, especially on Twitter, lots of current baseball players, guys who are at home watching the game, came out in total favor of it. Pitchers saying, if I don't want you to flip your bat, I should probably try to get you out.
Here's one of the reasons why so many people love this team. Sheldon, let's do roll in number 3 right now. This I've never seen before. Usually when the guys win, they dance around, they go into the clubhouse, that's the end of it. They came out of the clubhouse with their champagne, spraying the fans, R.A. Dickey high-fiving the fans. There's Russell Martin. I mean, You don't see this, right?
Not very often, absolutely not. It really is a special team. The way that the fans have bonded around, have engaged around them in this social media age. There are just so many great stories in that Blue Jays clubhouse, so many personalities, and the way that the team has really come together to borrow a hashtag. It's really been inspiring, and to see them go back and pay that back to those fans, to the hardcore fans who stayed through the celebration. The players left the field; they're all still there. It was really great to see. R.A. Dickey, of course, was famous. As soon as the game was over, he was running up and down, high-fiving people in the front row, just having a great time. And
40 years old, first time in the playoffs.
40 years old, first time in the playoffs again. A guy with an incredible story, basically out of baseball, lost big signing bonus because of a pre-existing thing. Knuckleballer, just a person with an incredible backstory.
And then this is very much evocative of what I remember from 1993. People walking up and down Yonge Street, high-fiving each other. It was a great celebration, and it was all G-rated. And here's Yonge and Dundas, one of the biggest intersections in Toronto, after the game, and the light turns green, and what does everybody do? They walk off the streets. Of course, they're Canadian, they're polite, and they make way for the traffic.
And they say those scrambled intersections are a waste of time. I think that was the perfect time to make use of that pedestrian technology.
It was delightful. You think they're going to win the American League Championship Series?
I think that they can be considered the favorites. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think they're going to win the American League Championship Series?
You'd have to
Steve?
say Kansas City is favored, wouldn't you? I mean, they went to Game 7 of the World Series last year, and they are motivated like crazy to win this year.
I would hate to hear that you were not up on the Blue Jays and maybe doubting them when they were down 0-2. I may have seen an email from a producer of yours. I believe it only had 2 words in it, but they were repeated 3 times. Told you. So ye of little faith, I think the Blue Jays can be considered the favorites headed in against the Royals.
When they were down 0-2, I must confess, didn't see them coming back.
They have so much talent. They have so much talent, so much firepower. They're never out of any game. Their pitching has been so good to keep them in the games. It's really something that again, it's really a marvel. They're a wonderful team to watch. They're a wonderful team to root for, and the whole country has responded.
Amen. Thanks for this, Drew.
My pleasure.
Help TVO create a better world through the power of learning. Visit supporttvo.org and make a tax-deductible donation today.